Bismillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We're here with our brother Ryan, who's going to be telling us how he came to accept and embrace the faith of Islam. So we're just going to be asking him some few questions, and he's going to be telling us his story. So first of all, just tell us basically, how long ago did you embrace the faith of Islam?
It was July 18th, 2008.
Inshallah, 2008, so about 2 years now?
About 2 years, yeah.
Alhamdulillah. And what were some of the things that, or how did you first hear about Islam?
Actually, I had been trying to understand the truth of religion out there, and I didn't know a whole lot about Islam until a friend of mine approached me and said, you know, the way you're always talking about religion, it sounds a lot like Islam.
Right.
And it was strange because somehow it had been kept hidden from me for a long time. So it was actually a friend of mine that introduced me to Islam.
Right. So before that, you hadn't really heard a lot about Islam.
Well, of course, you know, I had heard a lot of the stuff in the media and all the stigmas and stereotypes out there, but I didn't really buy into any of that. But it wasn't something I really thought to learn much about. It just seemed like, oh, yeah, another religion in the stack.
Right.
I had taken a course on the history of Islam, but it was a history course.
Right.
So
it's
again,
different perspective.
It has a different perspective, right? It's just like a part of world history. It's not really the religion per se.
What was your background before Islam?
So I was raised a Christian, actually, born into a Christian house. When I was in my young life, my dad entered into the ministry, and he's a Lutheran pastor to this day. And so that's why I was raised in the Lutheran church as a Christian, and they've got a good a program of education about the religion. So my parents are of course very active in the church. So I was raised a very active and engaged Christian.
Right. Okay, and that's here in Canada, Edmonton.
Oh, all over the world. But yeah, mostly here in Canada. I guess I spent some time in Britain and some time here was the majority of it.
Okay. Yeah. So when you started hearing about Islam, and what was it about Islam, or what were some of the things that really interested you, or what attracted you to the faith of Islam, or what caused you to embrace Islam?
Well, I don't know if it's because of my engineering background, the way my mind works. I have like a very methodological, very methodical way of thinking about things, and so actually it was the concept of Tawheed, or the oneness of Allah and His names and His attributes that really, it more than caught my attention. It grabbed me and was just like, to me it seemed so clearly upon the truth that I had to really pay attention to the rest of the religion, because it was founded upon such a clear concept of God. Because I had really been searching and struggling to try and understand what God was through many twists and turns. So when I had it presented to me that Allah was one, He was the creator, He was self-sufficient, He was ever-living, these things seemed clearly evident to me, and so I had to pay closer attention to it.
Right. And so now, since embracing Islam, how has Islam, positively affected your life, or what's positive effects have you seen in your own character, your own self?
Well, it was interesting because after leaving the religion of Christianity, I really, I couldn't accept its basic concept of God. It seemed to me I couldn't base my life upon something that seemed to be contradictory. Unfortunately, without God guiding you and leading you in your life, you tend to find your own contradictions. Right. And I found plenty of contradictions in my life. I couldn't really make sense of my purpose and what I was supposed to be here for. And it led me astray, I led myself astray many different times through these contradictions. So really, when I found the basis of a clear truth, I wanted to know, okay, does this religion have a way for me to live my life that's as clear and consistent as the way it describes God? And it's been astonishing, and it's what really motivates me to continue to learn more about this deen, is that the more, I guess, consistent you are with this religion, the more at harmony your life is with, everything around you. Like, I really would struggle a lot to, like I said, to understand my purpose for being here. And our purpose in this life is clear. Our purpose is to worship Allah in the ways and manners that He's prescribed for us. And He's prescribed these for us because He is the most knowledgeable, the all-wise, and He knows what's best for our life. So, I mean, it's like a complete 180 from struggling and being lost to knowing a clear path, and knowing that if I am consistent within myself and with this religion, that I will have peace, harmony, and a clear path really laid out for me. I mean, it's like night and day.
It's a complete way of life, right? It's not just like a 1 day a week where you go and the rest of the week you have no guidance. Like in all the matters of your life, there's like a guidance, and it's really comprehensive, you could say.
Yeah, it's you know, it's really incredible because I mentioned like I have an engineering background, but you know, engineers are really good at knowing what to do, but not really why to do it.
Right.
And so we look to other areas of our life to understand why we're supposed to be doing things. We've got the arts and sociology, politics, and all of these things. Right. When you look at the world, it's really struggling to sort of get everyone on board with a good program that's not going to be taking advantage of people, that's not going to be oppressing people, that's going to be fair, that's going to be balanced, that's going to be good to people, that's going to be good with nature. And it's amazing, like this religion has a path and an answer for all these areas of life that are all consistent within itself. It's astonishing, really, for me.
What is, let's say, what's the most important thing you want people to know about Islam, besides what we've already mentioned? If you could only say one thing, what would it be?
If you're struggling to understand if you're struggling to understand who the creator is of all this, if you don't even believe that there is a creator, Islam has such a beautiful way of giving you clear proofs of who your creator is and why He's put you on this earth. And maybe I'm repeating myself a bit, but so many people, I think, struggle to have a clear message in their life for why they're supposed to be here, and they distract themselves with so many other things. You know, they know there's a hole inside themselves, and they fill it with other things, like I don't know, I mean the obvious ones are like gambling and drugs and alcohol, right? But there's so many other things too. Maybe we just get lost in our job, or maybe we get so wrapped up in a relationship. Islam puts you in the proper relationship with your creator, and when He is the one that's filling your heart, I mean, you don't lack for anything at that point in your life. Yeah, that's the best way I can put it, maybe.
And what final advice would you give people? Like, people are struggling and they're looking for that guidance, they're seeking the truth. Like, what would you tell them? What advice would you give them?
First of all, if you are searching, search within yourself and look to see if you are being consistent within yourself. Are you asking the right questions? Because if you're asking the right questions, I think you can't help but come to the realization of some certain basic things about who the creator is. That if there is a creator, then He must have given us guidance. And if there is guidance, then it must come from a clear and honest source. And if you're consistent with this, and I think this is an open and honest way of approaching the matter, then the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is the best of examples for us to find an answer to our human situation.
Right. MashaAllah. Jazakallah khairan. May Allah reward you, and may Allah continue to guide us. And I hope this has been beneficial. And may Allah grant us good in this life and in the hereafter. And Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.